Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, but also a few other things as well. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, we're going to be starting with this video. It is about 2 minutes and 18 seconds long. I have the volume turned up quite a bit, so I hope that you guys can definitely hear it. This is from Riz XRP, and it is talking about London's ready. And a lot of you will know by the end of this video what this actually means. So please stay tuned till the end of this video and listen closely. So let's start this up.
We've been thinking hard about the benefits, challenges, and opportunities that are offered by new financial technologies. Earlier this month, on the 4th of April at UK's FinTech Week, I set out our firm ambition to make Britain a global hub for crypto asset technology and investment, a place where firms can innovate, scale up, and start up. And the message that we're sending to crypto firms is that the UK is open for business, open for crypto business, and we're backing up these words.
And real quick, I just want to say what he just said there: open for crypto business. But let's just finish this video.
Words with clear and urgent actions. In fact, we've just announced a package of reforms which will lead to an evolution to the way that we regulate crypto assets and in aspects of the way that they're treated for tax.
This is John Glenn. He currently serves as the Economic Secretary.
And the rest of this is from XRP Darren. If you guys want to go check him out on Twitter as well as YouTube, you guys are more than welcome to. He is talking about John Glenn, who was just discussing the overall policies exchange around the UK. They are more than ready. We've actually been discussing this quite a bit, even with Quant. They are trying to become a leader around crypto. They're focused on stablecoin regulation as well as crypto regulation to really kind of adopt in these new systems, as they are aware, right? I've actually said this even around like the US. You know, to me, I do believe that the US is aware of how disruptive this technology is, but I do believe that they are trying to protect the big bankers, the big money players. But a lot of these areas do not care, and the UK is one of them. The UK has been focused on innovation and revolutionizing their current payment flows as well as their transactional flows. And this is why I have been paying attention to CBDCs around the world as well. And why do I bring this video up again? Well, when we go over here, so we do see over here from Ripple, registration for Ripple Swell Global 2022 is now open. Request your invitation today to learn what's next for the future of crypto, blockchain, and payments. Now, I know that this isn't a big connection, but the fact that this is being held in London is significant. And the reasoning behind this is the fact that Ripple has been a leader around the Digital Pound Foundation, as well as an innovator within finance and payments, as you guys are probably all aware of by now. I have been watching this market for a very long time around CBDCs as well as tokenization, even digitization, and we have been making some very streamlined processes around these specific topics in some areas around the world opposed to the US. Because again, like I said, the US is still kind of focused on, all right, we need to regulate, without any sort of guidelines, by the way. They're not providing any guidelines to any of these major players, like even Ripple or any other player within this market. But again, when we look at where Ripple's position, where we look at where the UK is, or I should say London, they are ready. They are more than ready. The UK is ready to be a leader behind digitization and crypto, and this is where we really kind of want to say, all these other areas should be following this path. The US is continuously stifling innovation by having these, I would say overreach of power plays from the SEC, which a lot of you have probably heard my rants in the last couple of days talking about the subject. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But also remember, like I said, Ripple is a major leader behind the Bank of England as well as the Digital Pound Foundation, and we do see here tomorrow we discussed the future of the digital pound with the Bank of England, Ripple, Quant Network, etc. And this is going back to November of 2021. The reason why I bring this back up is because I share with you guys the few players that are a part of this, like Quant Network, Ripple, Bank of England, Electronium, even Avalanche, and also Accenture UK, which again we already know Accenture's big connection to this market. They're a very substantial giant within finance. But again, like this was not the only connection. Like even going back to October of 2021 as well. Like we're excited to announce the launch of Digital Pound Foundation, and this organization is a part of all of these major leaders. And these are the leaders that are going to play the pivotal role in disrupting the core of the payment flows and the financial system within some of these areas. And remember, like there's even a Digital Euro Foundation. A lot of these are non compensatable, foundations and organizations that are focused more so on reform and, revolutionary technology around some of these areas. But it just kind of gives you guys a quick insight on who is actually a part of these projects and really kind of doing the revolutionary leaps of faith that need to be taken in order to have that reform, in order to have that change and that, full-on transformation around finance. And also over here, we do see Swift messages are 95% successful. Sorry, and imagine the fact that 5% of your PMT messages will not get delivered for 40 years. Got Ripple. Sorry, I completely butchered that, but we do see like imagine accepting the fact that 5% of your PMT messages will not get delivered for 40 years. And we do see down here, like this is from CNBC, talking about what is SWIFT. Here's how Russian banks, got cut out of the financial system. And this was 14 hours ago. But we do see them talking about SWIFT. They're doing massive amounts of volume every single year, every single day. Like they're actually talking here about like over $1 trillion being transacted a day. I think it's like more so around like 5 trillion. I think that this video is actually kind of lagging a little bit. I do apologize. I'm using like public Wi-Fi at this hotel that I'm staying at for a business trip. But they are talking about like the payment flows, how disruptive like some technology could possibly be, but also how they're talking more so about like how successful like Swift has been, but Swift has not been successful at all. In fact, they're very when we look at like a lot of these inefficient payment flows, like Swift is at the core of it. That's why when we look at like a few tweets or quotes from some players around Ripple, like Ashish Burla, which has been like a major player around on-demand liquidity, he says like I think we have a bigger ambition, than replacing Swift, and I actually agree with this. Like when we look at Swift, when we look at what Ripple is focused on, we actually just recently discussed David Schwartz, right? The idea of David Schwartz is this: all of the major players within Swift will essentially be utilizing Ripple, aka the XRP on-demand liquidity mechanism, because they will be signing up with Ripple, being plug and played through Swift. And they wouldn't even have to change anything. Swift will be the one that kind of connects them together. So you will have 11,000 banks and financial institutions utilizing RippleNet with XRP all at once with on-demand liquidity. That's their end goal. That's what they are trying to do. But the problem here and the biggest barrier to success around that major innovation is, guess what? Gary Gensler with the SEC. And this is why we like really kind of focus on this area so much, because right now we are seeing a major change towards rapid transactions. But I've always said this: rapid transactions demand rapid settlement, and you do not get that without something that can source payments in regards to settlement on demand. And we also see this from Kevin Cage as well, saying current SWIFT network for exporter payments really controlled by a monopoly of the most powerful 2 to 5 global banks. According to Ashish Burla, Citi, JPM, and even HSBC oversee 80% of cross-border transactions. RippleNet and XRP are level in the playing field to give equal opportunity to thousands. And yes, this is why we have been, really kind of focused on what Ripple has been doing. A lot of people think that, like, at the end of the day, Ripple and XRP is one massive scam. But the problem is that they haven't done their significant research around like the PDFs, the overall confirmations of where Ripple is actually positioned, what Ripple is actually doing with XRP. Like on-demand liquidity as a use case, and I say this all the time, and it gets very repetitive, but I just don't think people actually understand how big on-demand liquidity actually is. Like there's a $27 trillion problem that they are, fixing. They're bringing a spotlight to that issue. And that is the Nostro Vostro sourced accounts. Like like that problem itself bottlenecks the entire situation, but also cutting out those middlemen. those middlemen that are sitting there taking massive amounts of payments from fees. That's why you do see these fees that are astronomical whenever you go to send money from, for an example, like the United States to China or China to this or that, whatever. These cross-border payment flows need to be disrupted. If XRP essentially becomes the cross-border payment flow giant, aka the bridge currency, man, I'm just going to say it right now. The value of XRP is not going to be the dollar range, the $2 range, the $3 range, or even the $10 range. We're looking at much, much higher potential. And also, we do so over here in May of 2018, and yes, this is going back to 2019 because I want to share with you guys these statistics because since then we have grown massively. But in May of 2018, and this is from Wrath of Kahneman, Ashish Birla presented the slide of Ripple's relationships with 40 central banks, regulators, and also policymakers, highlighting Bank of England and also SAMA. Note 2 use of India, Mexico, Philippines, and recently confirmed Brazil and emerging market liquidity slide. And we do see down here like 40 plus relationships globally, central banks, regulators, and even policymakers. And by the way, this also gives you guys a quick insight that the fact that Ripple has been working with regulators on a global basis. They just recently worked with, regulators within their Brazil partnership. And no, this is not the Brazil partnership that we are talking about within this, tweet here from 2019. Since then, a lot has happened. I would argue that there's probably over 100 plus, relationships globally. We have been expanding rapidly around the globe with Ripple and even on-demand liquidity with XRP, and I think that that is very exciting. And I do think that one of the major giants behind this is also Tranglo. Remember, I bring up Tranglo quite a bit because Tranglo does have connections to like over 1,800 banks. They're a very substantial name in this game, specifically around CBDCs, tokenization, and even digitization around specific payment flows. But for the most part, they are just more so kind of settled on like remittances and payment flows between some like companies. But it does open the door, for Ripple to really kind of step in and utilize their on-demand liquidity mechanism for global outreach. And this is also why I say pay attention to some of those connections to Ripple, we talk about a lot Tranglo, but you look at like Finastra, you look at Accenture, and there's so many other ones as well. We just recently talked, this goes back about like 2 months ago now, where we were talking about SCB with I want to say HSBC. Those were two giants. Those are two giant banking clients that were really kind of utilizing Ripple with on-demand liquidity and cross-border payment flows. This is a very substantial area. Like I said, Swift is doing trillions on top of trillions of dollars per year. And if anyone does want to really kind of read into this video, you guys are more than welcome to go check out XRP Darren on YouTube. He does incredible content on XRP and really kind of breaks things down fully, sorry. But it's really kind of just talking about things happening economically around the current financial system. There's so much really kind of being streamlined around CBDCs and regulations. And, like I said, London is fully ready. And I do believe that it is only a matter of time before we do see the global initiative move on crypto and these crypto-driven markets. It is going to be centered around DLTs that do offer major efficiency, sustainability, scalability, speed, cost, etc. We've talked about this so many times. I do believe that even Hedera will play a pivotal role as well. If you guys do want to go check out Hedera, I definitely advise you to as well. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As is up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, guys. On this beautiful world, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.